am thinking today of the beautiful land I shall reach when the sun goeth down. When through wonderful grace by my Savior I stand, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, goeth down.
Welcome to Hymnal Harmonizer's Hub. This video is your complete guide to singing this beloved hymn in harmony. We've included separate chapters for each part, so you can easily jump to the line you're learning or listen to the full harmony from start to finish. Whether you're new to singing parts or already familiar with your voice section, this guide is made for you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next hymn. Let's keep traditional hymns alive together. Let's begin with a full SATB playback. This uses a closed score. Soprano and alto are on the treble clef. Tenor and bass are on the bass clef. Each line is harmonized and equally audible. Let's listen once through the hymn. 3, 2, 1.
I am thinking today of the beautiful land I shall reach when the sun goeth down. When through wonderful grace by my Savior I stand, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, goeth down. When I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? In the strength of the Lord let me labor and pray. Let me watch as a winner of souls, that bright stars may be mine in the glorious day, when His praise like the sea billow rolls. Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, goeth down. When I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? Oh, what joy it will be when His face I behold, living gems at His feet to lay down. It would sweeten my bliss in the city of gold, should there be any stars in my crown. Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, goeth down. When I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown?
Let's highlight the soprano line. Watch the top line in the treble clef. That's your melody. Other voices are softened for context. 3, 2, 1.
I am thinking today of the beautiful land I shall reach when the sun goeth down. When through wonderful grace by my Savior I stand, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down. When I wake
for the alto part. Follow the bottom line in the treble clef. You'll hear the soprano above you, with tenor and bass below, softened in volume. 3, 2, 1.
I am thinking today of the beautiful land I shall reach when the sun goeth down. When for wonderful grace by my Savior I stand, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? In the strength of the Lord let me labor and pray, let me watch as a winner of souls, that bright stars may be mine in the glorious day, when His praise like the sea billow rolls. Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? Oh, what joy it will be when His face I behold, living gems at His feet to lay down. It would sweeten my bliss in the city of gold, should there be any stars in my crown. Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown?
Here's the tenor line. Focus on the top line in the bass clef. The harmony above and below gives you support, but the tenor is front and center. 3, 2, 1.
I am thinking today of the beautiful land I shall reach when the sun goeth down. When through wonderful grace by my Savior I stand, will there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? In the strength of the Lord let me labor and pray, let me watch as a winner of souls, that bright stars may be mine in the glorious day, when His praise like the sea billow rolls. Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown? Oh, what joy it will be when His face I behold, living gems at His feet to lay down. It would sweeten my bliss in the city of gold, should there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown?
Let's move to the bass. You'll find your notes on the bottom line in the bass clef. Sing along while the upper parts remain in the background. 3, 2, 1.
I am thinking today of the beautiful land I shall reach when the sun his feet to lay down. It would sweeten my bliss in the city of gold. Should there be any stars in my crown? Will there be any stars in my crown? When at evening the sun goeth down, when I wake with the blessed in the mansions of rest, will there be any stars in my crown?
We'll now go through the full SATB again, this time with all repetitions included. Use this to practice blending your part with the others in the complete flow of the hymn. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you for watching until the end. We invite you to join as a channel member to support this ministry and access exclusive content. And before you go, tap one of these to explore more harmonized hymn guides.
I am thinking till day of the beautiful land I shall